Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. Thank you so much for joining me on my live Sandra P's Gen Extra. I hope everyone's having a great day. And I'm sorry, I'm just trying to let's see, we're going to change this. As you can see, this is Married to Medicine. Thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. Excuse my voice in advance, everyone. I'm working on trying to get everything together. My voice is not where it should be. Thank you for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. As you can see, this is the Married to Medicine Live. This is the latest episode from Sunday night. And it was a pretty good one. We had a lot going on. We are in season 12 for these ladies, the doctors, the nurse practitioners, the spouses, all in the family. So this was a pretty good episode. A lot of different things going on. As you come in during the live, I want to thank you for coming in during the live. If you are Team Replay, as always, I appreciate and I thank Team Replay. Thank you so much, Team Replay. Welcome in, Sharon Gobble. Thank you so much for joining me during the live. It is good to see you. Good morning, Sandra P's Gen Extra and chat. Good morning, Sharon. Thank you so much for coming in. We're going to talk about the Married to Medicine, episode 6, All in the Family. So this is a pretty good one. We had a lot going on in this episode. We start at the doctor's offices. You know how they give us these little vignettes, all of the different doctors and now nurse practitioners. So we get to see Angel finally at work in her office. Dr. Mimi had a scene. They always do a Dr. Simone scene, which is pretty good. Next, we are in the first full scene, which is at Quad's house. Quad and King have come back from Ghana. This was for the trip for the egg retrieval. I don't like this storyline. I feel uncomfortable even calling it a storyline because it is so serious. As we all know, Quad is sharing her IVF journey, which was another cast member's journey, which was Sweet Tea, that Dr. Heavenly solicited to be on the show, then was instrumental, we believe, in getting her off the show. That and that she might not have been a fit. So she married Dr. G, who is Quad's ex-husband, and they don't get along. Even though Dr. G still has a relationship with the men in that group, he and Quad cannot be in the same room without arguing. Well, once she was, let me hug your neck. And then after that, they would just get into it. So Dr. G's no longer around. Sweet T's no longer around. But the IVF storyline is still here. Quad and King are talking about that. So Dr. Heavenly comes up. Oh, Dr. Heavenly said, these shots are making you thick. Then we get to hear about the 15 times a day rumor. Those of you who watched last season know what that is all about. Angel is there. Oh, let me remove King from this scene. This is a later scene. I'm sorry, that's the incorrect scene. This scene at Quad's house is with the ladies. So we have Dr. Heavenly, we have Quad. Angel comes over. Angel's joking. I don't need all that. I'm with you, Angel. We get a confessional from Angel giving details. She said, if you're doing all that, you might end up getting stretched out and then it doesn't even work out. And now what? You out here trying to do Kegels and all that. So Angel is giving grown folks talk. I'm here for it, Angel, because you're right. Actually, I didn't believe King and Quiet when they were doing all that. I thought a lot of that was for Dr. Greg's benefit and to make him angry. And it worked because when they went back to their room, him and Sweet Tea had a big fight. But that was a mess. Contessa shows up bearing gifts. I don't know what she gave Quad, but Quad thanked her for it, whatever it was. Contessa says during her pregnancies, she gained 70 pounds. And she says it was like having a whole other person. Contessa is tiny anyway. So I'm glad Dr. Contessa is being real about what pregnancy is. I mean, it's necessary to populate, but I could agree with Dr. Contessa. I mean, I don't know. I've never carried a child. That's nothing I ever wanted. But God bless the mothers and the women that carry children. They're needed, but Dr. Contessa says it wasn't beautiful for her. And Quad's having a time. Sharon Gobble says, in my opinion, this is a fake storyline. King doesn't even seem like he likes Quad. I saw the chemistry last year, Sharon. Some people were like, nah, this is fake. They didn't see it. And this season, I have to agree. I feel like he tries to always cut her down on camera. I don't feel like he likes her. I think when she was City Girl Quad, Sexy Quad, and they're flying around the world and she's in her little outfits and she got him on TV. He loves the camera. It's different than this Quad who is supposedly focused on this goal of having at least one child, and she's waited until now. It's a geriatric pregnancy. Quad is 44, 45 years old. In your mid 30s, they start saying that's a geriatric pregnancy. So I feel for Quad a little bit, but a lot of this is Quad's own doing. So I don't know. Sharon doesn't even believe the storyline. I think she got it from Sweet Tea, because Sweet Tea, when she married Dr. Greg, she kind of enticed him in his DMs talking about, I can give you what you really want. And now look, they still haven't moved on that either. So all the ladies are talking. We get a confessional from Quad. Another thing to keep an eye out for, Quad is doing a lot of solo confessionals. Before, King wouldn't miss a confessional. Now they're about half and half. So they're kind of ease the audience into where we have another person that's not even married to medicine, my love. That's something Mariah never really wanted, but again, we have that now. So Quad is saying that there are 4 eggs fertilized, and that she's hoping that they'll be blessed with an embryo. By the end of the episode, we're going to get more news on that, y'all. So then the ladies, they're filling Quad in on what is happening while she was in Ghana. Heavenly lets it be known that she and Toya got into it again about Toya. You talk about my family, you talk about my child, I get to say whatever. And Angel says, well, Toya has a right to defend herself. I have to agree with Angel. We all know that, yeah, Toya started it, but in Toya starting it, excuse me, I'm trying to make sure everything looks okay. With Toya starting it, Heavenly also for years has talked about people's marriages, their family, their children, and now she's getting what she gave out for all these years. And for some reason, she feels like she's exempt, that nobody gets to do that. I don't feel like she's exempt, and I feel like Toya or anybody else can talk about Damon Jr. or whatever else they want. The only thing I'll have to say, I hate it for Damon Jr. because he didn't sign up to be on this show. He's the one that stopped being on the show years ago. We do see Zach, we do see Alora. Even in this episode, toward the end, we start to see them. But Damon Jr. for years has not wanted to be on the show. They got this one little picture they show of him and Dr. Heavenly in better time, because Heavenly has told us she cussed him out, fussed him out, and we know how Heavenly's mouth can be. She hasn't seen him since. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him for that at all. I'm actually with him on that. But I think he's no contact willingly with just Heavenly. We're going to find out through this episode. He's still in touch with Damon. He's still in touch with his brother Jack. Zach, he's just not messing with Heavenly. I think he's in touch with Alora as well. So I don't blame him for that. Y'all, excuse me for looking away. I'm trying to pull this up on the TV at the same time that I'm live, but that is okay. I think everything is, if I can be heard and seen, that's good enough for me. Welcome in, Mama Bees, our moderator. Thank you so much for coming in during the live. I appreciate you. Thank you. Speaking to Sharon and to myself, thank you. So Dr. Eugene is getting his hair cut. Who walks into the barbershop but King? Hello, King. King, you get another scene. I'm tired of King, y'all. King says he's telling the men all of his and Quad's business. I don't like this. Quad speaking to the ladies about her IVF journey, which Sharon doesn't believe. Some of the viewers don't believe. I'm on the fence. I hope Quad wouldn't do all this for TV, but it is looking like a recycled storyline. Quad speaking to her friends of a decade or more about this versus King, talking to the men that he met these husbands and these doctors through Quad. So now he's telling her business. And these are also Gregory's friends. So he walks into the barber shop. They ask him how things are going. Dr. Eugene's getting a lineup. I don't think Dr. Eugene really has hair. He joked about that, but the barber's doing something to his head. So King is saying they went from, he thought it was going to be one trip. Now they've been there to Ghana 5 times. Y'all, I don't care what kind of deals they're getting. That is expensive. And King is already saying he does not like spending all this money on that, but he's spending all the money. I don't know if the lighting is okay. Ma, do me a favor. Can you turn the light on? I'm sorry, y'all. I have someone homesick from school, so she's here. So he's complaining about this time away. It takes dedication. I'm away from work. I'm away from my daughter. Now, Quad has alluded to him being away from work and his daughter, he's making all these sacrifices. But we see Quad is the one giving herself them injections. Her weight is different, is plays with her emotions. Again, she asked for this. This is what she wants, but King to me doesn't seem to be as supportive as he can be. And I don't care for that. He said it's a lot of catering to one's needs and neglecting yours. We get a joint confessional with King and Quad. King's playing the martyr. He's still talking about all he's given up and all this kind of stuff. Quad is saying, well, that's not fair. I'm tired of Quad, y'all. And I want to know from King, what job? What job? We've heard certain bloggers talking about he has some type of luxury car business, but then there's something else going on with the VIN numbers. There was another person that made an accusation of a car that belonged to him not being returned. King's name came up. All of this is allegedly, and in my opinion, I'll run a banner just in case. But I mean, those of you that have seen it, you've seen it. You've seen it out there, what's going on with King, allegedly in that business. He claims he gave it up for Quad. I think he gave it up because the block got hot, but we'll see. Cecil pipes up. We see you supporting her. Cecil has gotten on my nerves this season, but he is piping up on behalf of King. We see you supporting her. And Curtis is giving, I guess, his version of encouraging words as well. I wouldn't take any type of advice from a long, tall Curtis. Curtis is over there working Jackie like a straight up pimp. So we saw him at that 70s party. There's a reason why his costume was so good. It's not a costume. I think that's who he is at his core. He's retired now. He's working Jackie. So we go back to, I like when production does this, the contrasting scenes. We go back to Quad's house. It's funny, y'all. I tell you who's not at Quad's. Toya, Dr. Jackie, or Dr. Simone. They're not at Quad's house. They don't really fool with Quad like that. So they are talking about the bag event, filling in Quad on what was going on. Heavenly again, talking about Damon Jr. And then Angel kept piping up on behalf of Toya, which I was happy to see. So Angel, you're not scared of Dr. Heavenly. I like that. So that's pretty good. Next, we see Dr. Mimi. Y'all, she's in her scrubs. Whitley Gilbert is having a time. Guess who's in the car with her, y'all? Stevie. Our favorite 8-year-old on this show. Stevie is a trip. And how I knew Dr. Mimi had a rough ride, Stevie came in the house with no shoes on, okay? So I feel like he launched them at Mimi. Scammer, oh, Sharon is saying King gives her his scammer job. You get scammer vibes from King. That's what people were saying. Quad like to say, what the people say? The people say that King was a scammer. That's what the people say, okay? So I don't know. That's exactly who Curtis is, a pimp. You see him. You see what Curtis is doing. Stevie is a mess. Yeah, I love the little Stevie, y'all. I had to laugh. Because Dr. Mimi shows up all put together, and she is, I'm going to give her that. But like I said, when I first met Stevie doesn't care anything about these cameras. He don't care nothing about a script. He's going to do what he wants to do. And, excuse me, we're getting the real Dr. Mimi and the real Steve. So Steve could be in Louis Vuitton or not. If little Stevie's on the scene, he's giving it real. So I love that. So they come in the house. Excuse me. Dr. Mimi's carrying his shoes. He comes in kind of fussing. She said, your daddy's going to be home. Stevie said something funny. He said, no, he not. I heard that. I understood it. No, he not. She said, yes, he is. So y'all, has Steve been away from the house? I don't know. So they get into it a little bit more. Stevie's on his back on the floor, legs up. Steve comes in. Now, you know they work this business together. Dr. Mimi's in scrubs, so she was at work. Steve he's not in Louis Vuitton. He's in workout clothes. So, Steve, you been working out? Excuse me. And Dr. Mimi had to pick up Stevie from wherever he was. So who we looking for? Little Miss Savannah. That's my girl. Savannah of the windmill. Savannah's not home. Dr. Mimi says, Savannah is staying with my mom. She got to take a break. Steve says she's been over there about a week. So we see Savannah get popped in the face last week and pull out her mean little windmill, and they get relocated to the front seat of the car. She's at her grandma's house now, and Stevie's rolling on the floor on his back. So the two of them, and I love these family scenes. Dr. Mimi, I know you wanted to show the viewer a certain thing, but this is Dr. Mimi's sweet spot. I like seeing her with the family, and I think this is going to be good for them. Mama B says, I agree with Sharon Gobble. They are both scammers. Quad, oh, you done post Quad in too, Mama B's? Mama B's, you think Quad is scamming too? We'll see later. She had a lot to say. Welcome in, CC. Thank you so much for coming in during the live. This is my moderator, CC. Came in during the live. Good morning, Sandra P's Gen Extra, Mama B, Sharon, and Chad. And then thank you so much. She's reminding people, please like the live and subscribe. Yes, y'all, please. I hit another milestone. I appreciate that so much. So thank you all. I think Traders brought in a few more subs. So this is our Married to Medicine, season 12, episode 6. But if you are not already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. And I appreciate that so much. But we're at home with Mimi and Steve. Steve came in with Mimi carrying his shoes. Stevie's a little bit the boy. He's on his back. He said, Steve's not coming home. She said, yes, your daddy is. And then when Steve came in, she said, see, I told you. So Steve is in workout clothes, so I don't know if he was helping Mimi. And y'all, then he gets the script back out again. He started talking to the viewer. I want you to have whatever you want. This is him telling Mimi, whatever you need. If you need to stop and take you a shower. Yes, she does. She just got off work. Y'all excuse my voice. I'm sorry. I've got my water and lemon, honey, but I'm just going to have to get over whatever this is. So he's telling her, take your time, take a shower. I got him. Stevie's still on the floor on his back, y'all. Stevie ready to go 12 rounds. He's not scared of y'all. He don't care about these cameras. And we find out little Miss Savannah, our favorite windmiller, is at her grandma's house for about a week. So they must have really got into it over there. So we get a confessional from Dr. Mimi. Excuse me. Her business is, she is a counselor. Dr. Mimi is counseling women, and she says they tell me the most vulnerable things about their life, and she's honored to be able to share in that with them. And then also she has this going on at home too. So y'all, I know she's a therapist and a counselor. I feel like she probably has a therapist and counselor as well. I found out that most of them do. So I hope she is talking to somebody about the pressures that she's going through at home. So Steve comes in from working out. Dr. Mimi comes in from work. Steve comes in from work, and everybody, Stevie, and then they all, get together as a family. So that was a pretty good scene. I love when Dr. Mimi and Steve show us the real, because I think they're trying to appear perfect, which they cannot. So then back at Quad's house, she had everybody not everybody at her house, with the exception of, she didn't have Toya, she didn't have doctors Simone or Jackie. King went to the barbershop. I think the men were kind of just dragging the women. And King is saying he's almost at the end of the road with this IVF stuff that Quad done come up with. So we're going to see a little bit more of this. We get a scene. This scene kind of got on my nerves, but it ended up okay. Dr. Heavenly is dressed in one of those knitted outfits. It would be cute, but not on her. It was a little young. It was a little sparse. Dr. Heavenly got a lot going on, even with her BBL and all of that. I didn't like the way it fit to come into this scene. She was dressed like she was going on a date. So she sits down. A nice looking man comes in. He sits down. He has a resemblance to Dr. Heavenly. We find out Dr. Heavenly's papa was a Rolling Stone. This man, wherever he laid his hat, was his home. And when he died, all he left him was alone. Y'all, Heavenly has a brother. I think they built him as a half brother. We don't really do that. That's a brother. She didn't know him. She said he introduced himself to her. She is running out of, her mom passed. She's lost the dad, even though they were divorced. She has a sister that she feuds with and that she's not in touch with. So I'd like to hear actually more about that side. Supposedly the sister was preferred within the family, and Dr. Heavenly was mistreated and locked up and all this kind of stuff. But Dr. Heavenly is such a liar. I don't really know what to believe. I know there's some rough stuff in her childhood. So my heart goes out for that, but I still don't excuse Dr. Heavenly for her mouth and the things that she does to other people. So she's telling the brother, they see a resemblance. I see a resemblance. And this is their first time meeting, but they get very close with each other and they start disclosing things to each other. They're both married, their families. She tells him about Damon Jr. She lied to us for years, didn't tell the viewer anything, even though she's getting a paycheck on the strength of the viewers. She tells her newfound brother, Damon Jr. had been in trouble. Now he's not talking to her. He's no contact, I believe, with just Dr. Heavenly only. He's still in contact with his brother, his sister, and Dr. Damon. I think he's just no contact with Dr. Heavenly because she's the one that went off on him. The brother said, I have a son doing the same thing. So y'all, this is a trip. So Dr. Heavenly is saying she's planning a family reunion. She invites the brother to come. He's looking forward to it, to developing a relationship with Heavenly. She's doing the same. So next we see Heavenly at her house. She's planning a mac and cheese off, which sounded a lot of fun. We see different scenes of the families cooking their mac and cheese. Cecil's strategy is that he is a cook. He cooks mac and cheese. Simone lies, talking about, I used to cook mac and cheese. Cecil outed her immediately. He's, out the box, you talk about that craft. I thought that. You like, well, at least I used to make chili. He said, oh, you mean out the can? So the two of them are laughing. I like their sense of humor. Y'all, they started again a little bit. We get from Simone, every time she tried to talk seriously to Cecil, he started joking. She said, I wanted to speak again about you nor the boys or Michael, Cecil and Michael particularly. She said, you never say to me, what can I do to take something off your plate? Cecil immediately start talking with a little bit of bass and high. Well, every time I do, I do that. And if you say I don't do that, you hurt my feeling. Y'all, I'm seeing a different side of Cecil this season. And I have spent a decade getting to know Cecil and really liking Cecil through the screen, what they share, other than the Tammy fiasco. I wanted to sit Cecil out with the trash with that Tammy thing. But Cecil is showing us a different side of him. And he's telling her that he does take stuff off her plate to make life easier. Simone switches immediately and says, well, yeah, I know you do. But what I'm saying is, Simone, what are you saying? Because we can't be madder at Cecil than you are. If you're going to allow him and Michael to still use you, then keep doing it. CC is saying, this is from the quad scene. I think the IVF stuff is just a storyline for quad. CC, Sharon thinks the same thing. Y'all, half the viewers are thinking this. I go back and forth. Why would you go through all that with a boyfriend who's not even 100% committed to you or the process? I agree with that. I don't think King is into it. I think he didn't think it would be this deep and this serious, especially his finances being impacted. We're going to see more of that toward the end of the episode. But I tell you what's real. She's really taking those shots. Her body is different. The emotions are different. Well, Quad's always been emotional, but crying and all this kind of stuff, that is, I guess, a little more. Before it was like, for me, Tubi acting. I don't believe Quad a lot of the time. But I think her emotions are real. But Cece says she thinks it's just a storyline. Sharon said the same thing. So, y'all, this is interesting. Does he have a job? Mama Bees, this year they started listing Cecil as a realtor again. He's been in real estate for a long time. But as you know, you can get a real estate license if you don't make any sales, then you have no income coming in. I don't know whether or not that's what's going on with Cecil. Excuse me. Simone has declared loudly that he is in charge. I can't do Simone's voice because my voice is gone. He's in charge of the family portfolio, the real estate for the family portfolio. Now, we know that includes the North House, the South House, and the condo that the boys live in. I don't know what type of management that needs from Cecil now that the properties have been purchased. What, you writing the check for the mortgage or you doing the auto draft? What is that? So I'm with Mama Bees. What does he have a job? He had an app called Kids Force. He sunk thousands of dollars of Simone's money into it. And then that was a sticking point between them as well. So Mama Bees, I can't answer definitively. I don't know whether or not he has a job. Sharon speaking to CC. So Simone and Cecil are still going round and round in this kitchen. He's making his famous mac and cheese. And then Simone's telling him again, I decided this year I'm not giving an F about people that don't give a F about me. Simone, we heard you say this, and then you turn around and bought little Simone a Tesla. So we don't really want to hear this. Y'all, this scene kind of got on my nerves because she's not going to do anything about it. Y'all, the dog walked in and barked. So he's being taken care of as well. And it sounded like he weighed in on Cecil's side. And where did they get this other dog from? So Dr. Simone taking care of 4 dogs, y'all. No, I won't include Miles. I like Miles. 3 dogs and Miles. This is too much. So then she's saying, well, you take a lot of the things off my plate. I'm talking about with the boys, because you don't intervene on my behalf. You only intervene with the boys. So Dr. Simone, we can't do this. We're not gonna keep doing this with Cecil and Simone. I will say this. What Simone wants from Cecil, she's not gonna get. Mama B's asked the question, does he have a job? Why are we as the viewer asking this question after a decade and 2 years? This is season 12. Dr. Simone, if we don't know what Cecil is doing after 12 years, that means you are the primary breadwinner. So you pay the cost to be the boss. Stop begging this man and tell him what it's going to be. Or just leave. We know she wanted to leave years ago. They talked her out of it, and now she's still complaining. I don't want to hear it. So Dr. Simone, you're going to be the breadwinner. You're going to bring home the bacon. Let him fry it up in a pan. He in there cooking. And I'm not one of those people. I don't do traditional roles, but he's in there cooking. He's supposed to be in charge of the house or whatever he is. Stop begging him to intervene on your behalf with the boys. He agrees with the boys. Okay? Michael looks like Dr. Simone, but he got the spirit of Cecil. So next we get to a scene where we have the Kimes family reunion. Y'all, I love how they plan this. Let me read the comments so we could stay with Cecil and him a little while. Sharon says, I'm tired of Dr. Jackie and Cecil. Dr. Jackie and Cecil. I'm actually tired of Dr. Jackie, Dr. Simone, Dr. Heavenly, but her being a friend of has made her a little more palatable, and I'm sick of Quad. King could have been gone. Cece says, I can't take Simone's big mouth. I can't be around loud people like that. And Cecil is a weak Mitch. Cecil claims he's a successful realtor. That should be easy to prove. Thank you, Cece. They pull up everything else. Let me go back to the scene where we were at Quad's house. I just left a little note and I forgot to read it. When we were at Quad's house, Dr. Heavenly's saying Toya's talking about her kids so she can talk about whatever. They bring up, Dr. Contessa came in. She was bearing a gift. She wants to know, well, did Simone pull up any other information? She pulled up the information about the car. Dr. Contessa is trying to play both sides of the fence. That's another one that can go. Because when it comes back to bite her, she's going to be screaming and hollering and yelling and squaring up and running around trying to catch people and punch him on the side of the head. Dr. Contessa needs to mind her business. Dr. Simone can pull up whatever she wants. Production inserted a scene where Quad's like, well, who pulled that up? And why did you pull it up? And Dr. Simone said, I did because I can. So now we'll go back to the scammers, allegedly, King and Quad. Dr. Contessa brought up that Simone pulled up information about this car or whatever. And then we find out. Now, I'm going to go back to the scene where the Kimes family reunion. Everybody has on different cute T-shirts. I think Heavenly and them's color was blue. Toya and them were yellow. Mimi and them were pink. Everybody had their different colors. So as they pull up, Quad pulls up with King only. I tell you, it's only her and him. She's driving. She parks in the handicap space. I think she had a sticker, but she parked there. And Dr. Jackie probably wrote it for her. She parks in the handicap space. They're like, Quad pulls up in the Maserati. Contessa and them were talking about Simone pulling up stuff. Production is messy. They asked Quad, did you drive the Maserati so that Simone won't get the VIN number of the other car and pull it up? Quad lies. I don't care if Dr. Simone pulling anything up. We drive in Maybachs, Maserati, Rolls Royce. Y'all, the feds just be taking notes on these shows. Quad, shut up. You know King was already in trouble about not returning this man's, what was it, a Rolls Royce or a Bentley? I think it was a Bentley. So King had a luxury car business. Now he's told us he stopped the business to help Quad do this IVF, go to Ghana and do IVF. He stopped the business because there were large bloggers one of them, there's a lady, I'm not going to say her name, but it's a rhyming name. She was dragging Quad by the short hairs, okay? So now King is retired from this business. I'm not going to call him a scammer, but in the chat, it was already that he might be a scammer, okay? Sharon agrees with CC. I agree with CC as well. I cannot take Simone's big mouth. But I'm going to tell you where I allow Simone. I don't mind her pulling up VIN numbers and stuff. I don't, because they can talk all about her business. Heavenly has called her boys lazy. I happen to actually agree. But Dr. Heavenly wants to talk about any and everybody. You can't bring up Damon Jr., can't bring up a Laura leaving school. You can't bring up none of that stuff. But Dr. Heavenly can say what she wants to say. Y'all, I'm sorry for mixing up the scenes, but we're at the family reunion, so some of the old scenes might come through. But when we hear about the VIN number, Dr. Contessa brought that up. She outed Simone as being the one who is actually pulling up stuff on people and then putting it out there. And we're going to see what's going to happen with Dr. Contessa and Dr. Simone, because Dr. Simone, as Cece said, does have a big mouth, and she's going to bring all this stuff up. And I think Dr. Contessa, she'll try to change it and pretend like, well, I didn't mean it like that. Yes, you did, because nobody asked you that. I have family members with luxury cars that don't talk about them. They have had money for more than a minute and don't need to prove it to anyone. These ladies are boring. Yes, CC, when people have money, I've been around people with money, they don't talk about it like that. If they have a Chanel, a part of their outfit is Chanel, you can't see that it has a big Chanel, like Shamia Morton, or I saw Contessa with a Chanel chain. I don't know that Chanel even makes chains. But when Steve has his on, the Louis, and then your car, here's Quad, a Maybach, a Bentley, a Maserati, and then the people, you scared for the people to see the VIN number? Why, Quad? So that's giving kind of scammer vibes. I agree with CC. People with money, they're not doing all of that. At the country clubs and stuff, they're talking about trying to make more money and what other businesses they're into. They're not labeled down and trying to make people jealous. Another person is Toya. When she was at that Balenciaga event, making the little fake bags, the way she was throwing that up in Heavenly's face was just ridiculous. And Dr. Heavenly didn't really go there, but she could have. So Damon is telling us, they have a confessional. He says, it's rough. My buddy's not here, but if he showed up and no one else did, it would be enough. So Damon, we know you're still in touch with Damon Jr. You're just protecting him right now from Dr. Heavenly, which I agree with, because Dr. Heavenly's too much. So Simone says we get a different confessional with everybody, telling us their family status as far as if they used to have reunions and that sort of thing. We know Dr. Simone's from Nashville. She came up kind of hard, kind of in a rough family. She said they didn't really do family reunions, but she remembers an event of the father beating a cousin up and then throwing him in the car. And then she's like snort laughing. Simone, that's traumatic. That's not funny. Y'all know Simone, they found her daddy in a trap house, unalived or something like that. Because Quad ended up bringing, what about when I went with you and your daddy? Quad is a trip. Yeah, she cried to the heavens when Simone brought up one of Quad's little family members being found in her pool. Yet you brought up Simone and her unalived daddy in a trap house. These women, none of them are friends. I think Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone are real friends. Dr. Heavenly has her use of Dr. Jackie. They use each other. But as far as real friendship, I don't really see it. So all these little vignettes we get, we find out that Steve, his papa was a Rolling Stone, and the mama might have been rolling too. He asked her who the dad was. She said his name might have been Edwin. They don't really know who it is. And Dr. Mimi said, nobody better roll up and say that they're her family because she don't know that man. And Toya said that she's not taking on any extra family members either. So Heavenly brings her brother to the reunion. Y'all, I did like that Dr. Damon and Zach gave him a warm hug. The brother's very personable. He has to me, Heavenly can be personable, but she's so mean, I don't really see it. He has a warm personality. He was like, oh, who plays the drums? Dr. Damon in his man cave, he plays music. Zach, I guess, is into it too. And the brother's like, yeah, I cook, I play drums. I like the way all the men were kind of gathered around each other. I thought that was cute. Little Miss Alora with her pretty self, she showed up very late. She did not have on the Kimes family color. She was in pink like Dr. Mimi and them. So she hadn't been by Heavenly's house to get her t-shirt. Dr. Heavenly, tell us what's going on with Alora. So this is a trip. Toya and Eugene do a confessional. She says they don't really do family reunions. She said they got together, but it might have ended in a fight. And then she laughs. Y'all are laughing at all this trauma. This is a trip. She said we did have fun. Heavenly compliments Toya and her boys. The A names, because I don't want to give them the wrong. Asher, and then I can't remember the other one. Y'all, they showed them in the kitchen. Is Laura an AKA? I'm not sure she's an AKA or not. She used to be down at Florida A&M. I think she is taking a break to content create. I don't know. I didn't see her pledge AKA. I saw one of Giselle's daughters pledge AKA. Is Heavenly an AKA? Is she legacy? So the other son showed up. Oh yeah, this is when Toya heavily complimented. Your boys are taller than you. We love Toya and Eugene's boys. We saw them cooking. So I think Ashton, whichever one is 15, he's doing the macaroni and cheese. But Toya wants to stack the deck. So this was a cute idea Heavenly had for the contest. So I couldn't really get how they're voting, only since the families have on different colors. Let's say Heavenly and them were blue. If you thought they had the best macaroni and cheese, you'll put blue. If you thought Toya and Ashton had the best one, they were in yellow, you put yellow. So that's how they were voting. Y'all, Toya took the whole box and was walking around for people to put their votes in. And they were joking that she was cheating. I think she was cheating, but Ashton might have really won anyway. So Heavenly's like, oh, your boys are big, they're taller than you. And Toya said something like, oh, all the kids you got, only one showed up. Zach looked at her. Dr. Damon looked at her. Dr. Eugene looked at her. Toya, you doing too much. I know that Heavenly can really give it to Toya if she wants to, but she's shown a little restraint so far. But Toya's asking for it. She really is. We see Mimi and Steve. They are in green. Savannah showed up talking. Y'all, I don't think little Stevie was there. She didn't bring little Stevie to, Brandy had an event at her house last episode, and she didn't bring him to that either. She said he'd be breaking TVs that she got to pay for. But I feel like Stevie could have came. Steve is there, all the other kids, all the families, but I didn't see him. So Mimi saying growing up in the house, they had a lot of families on both sides. Quad showing up with just King bothered me because y'all, Quad has a large family. In earlier seasons, after Quad had divorced Dr. Greg, but was still begging to stay on the show, and her fan base was begging her to stay on the show, and Quad is the show, Quad is the show, even though she was no longer married to Medicine, my love, she was allowed to stay. Where's Mason? Where's Mason? Mason is her sweet nephew. Quad lost her brother. She brought Mason in as if she was going to raise him. And we have not seen Mason. So, excuse me, I'm inclined to believe Quad does create storylines. And I don't like that. But she's allowed to do it because production, for some reason, likes her. So Angel pulls up with a doctor. His name is Dr. Bernard. All the ladies are looking at him. Toya's asking, who is he? Angel been asking me to hook her up with a doctor. So they thought they knew Angel's business, and they don't. Right road, Angel. Don't tell these women your business. They don't really like any of you, especially the newer nurse practitioners, Brandy and her husband. They don't like y'all. And I think Angel probably keep a man on deck. She just don't tell them what's going on. Toya is doing too much, but I love when she said that to Heavenly. Sharon Gobble, the same. I feel like Toya is doing too much too, but because we have this history with Heavenly for so long, and the way she used to come at Mariah and everybody else, I'm here for whomever saying whatever they want to Heavenly. A lot of the ladies are scared of her. Toya's not. Toya's getting her get back. She really is. Oh, this is what I think. CC is saying. Mason was just a fake mama storyline for Quad too. I think that's true. He was so sweet. I remember when she lost her brother and it was sudden. And this man was young. I don't think he was 40. Quad brought Mason and his mom to the show. They were staying at the house. And Mason had a scene. Quad was talking to him and he just started crying. He was little, y'all. He was about 8 or 9. And she said, what's going on? Doing her good to be acting. He said, I miss my dad. And I said, oh, I don't know if this should be on TV. And y'all, I started I don't dislike Quad, but I don't respect a lot of what Quad does. I don't. Starting from her, I think, real friendship, real sisterhood with Mariah Huck, and then the way she was able to discard and disregard her and plant stories and let Funky and all them people talk about Mariah like a dog and her get paid 12 years later on this lady's creation. Make no mistake about it, Mariah gets a check too, but I don't feel right about it. And I don't know how Dr. Simone, Dr. Jackie, Quad, even Dr. Heavenly, how do y'all feel right about that? I told y'all at BravoCon, somebody asked a question about Mariah Huck. Would the creator ever return? They were dead silent. Contessa jumped up and started talking, and she don't even know Mariah like that. And I know she doesn't because she said, I don't really know Mariah like that, but I appreciate her. Shut up, Contessa. I want to know from these four that started out with this lady and still getting paid. So when I look at Quad and y'all say, oh, it's a storyline, I don't want to believe that, but I kind of do. I think her IVF is Sweet Tea storyline. I can believe that. But I can't imagine taking injections and doing all this to my body and claiming I want a baby when it was ideal for you to have a baby. You were busy and being a city girl. Now you closer to 50 than you are to 40. Now you want a baby? I don't know. And then flying to Africa, you going to another continent. Y'all know how brutal those flights are? It's like a 15-hour flight. That's crazy. Excuse my voice, y'all. Here's Cece. She did Mariah real dirty. I stopped watching after Mariah left. Mariah has been posting more on Facebook. I like her family holiday video. Yes, Cece, I follow her. I like what Mariah does over there on Facebook too. She have a couple of them go viral. She did a really good one, kind of printing and showing her receipts again about, yeah, I started this show, so y'all can ignore me all you want. I started the show. Mariah had an old school MacBook that's still working, and the scenes that she showed, y'all, Dr. Heavenly looked just like that brother in a wig. Well, such and such, gate mouth. She just a talking. Original scenes from, I can't remember the name, Doctors and Their Wives or Wives and the Doc, something. Mariah had the original, y'all. She had the blueprint, and she had numerous offers from different networks and went with Bravo. Ironically, Bravo, the one ended up kind of knifing her in the back with the help, of course, of Quad and Simone, because they wouldn't have ever been able to do that without the ladies on the cast being willing to ice her out. And that was their own insecurity, to my mind. Because if somebody puts me in a place and they are the creator and I know that I came after them, I'm not going to bow down. I'm not going to kiss the ring. I'm never going to ice you out. If we have a scene and we don't like each other, we have a scene and we don't like each other. But I would never do what Quad and Simone did. And Mariah says that Simone is the one that came. They want me to tell you, Simone, Dr. Simone. And you know what? They feel like they destiny swapped with Mariah and they took what was hers. But none of them are thriving. I mean, look at these stories. Look at what's going on with them. And Mariah over there shining. Did you see her Christmas party? Miss Lucy's still over there, cute, cooking. They were making fun of Aiden. She said, my son-in-law called sweet potato pie pumpkin pie. I want y'all to know this ain't no pumpkin pie. This sweet potato. I said, I know, Miss Lucy. You can actually tell from the color. Pumpkin and sweet potatoes are not the same. But Aiden, he's Pakistani. So I found that really cute. Her children are thriving. Laura's almost done with school. They're both at HBCUs. I think she's at Norfolk. And Ethan, we see them. And Mariah said her vision is that it wasn't just going to be the doctors and their wives. It was going to be their children. And this show has legs to the point where her vision, that all could have been. Because we talk about Dr. Simone and her sons. We talk about who else has kids on the show? Every single person, Dr. Heavenly's kid, all of them are storyline. So I don't know why you had to ice one out because you weren't insecure. And all we get from Quad, excuse me for the tangent, but when I think about her, I have to go out on a tangent. All we get from Quad is fake storylines her and Funky come up with. Funky can't tell me what I like. Funky can get out of my face. I can't stand Quad for that, really. Cece says the recent Africa videos I've seen Quad in with Yandy and others were party time videos. Did y'all see when she was packing for Ghana? She had the cutest little leather Gucci suit. It still had tags on it. And King was like, you packing for a party. King kind of outed her on TV. And she's like, well, that's what I had. How's that what you had and it still got the tags on it? Stop, Quad. Stop doing that. So Toya is grilling Angel. Toya is a menace, y'all. Toya's earning this check. Another thing Mariah said, they showed Toya. Toya looked the same, but Toya was real pregnant. She was dragging Dr. Eugene about something, and Mariah said, Toya, she said Toya is consistent. And Toya is. We see a little bit of growth, but she's still the same. I can respect that. I don't always like it, but I can respect it. Everybody else switched up. So Toya wants to know, how long have you been talking to Angel? This man said a decade, the better part of a decade. Toya said, is this your woman? Angel started laughing. She's like, oh, he said, we used to date. So y'all know what Angel did. Angel, you done friend zone this man. And now you have 2 children. She told us 2 children, 2 different men. And she told production she's the mama and the daddy. And Dr. Bernard, he's no pro athlete or anything like that. If you like that type, I think Angel wants like a fly guy. But Angel, now you sitting over here talking about you looking. Dr. Bernard is right here. Y'all, I didn't like that. So Dr. Bernard got friend zone, and he's still in love with Angel. Angel, don't be no fool. Toya outs Angel. She said, she been asking me to hook her up with doctors. Here you go right here. So y'all, I thought that was so funny. Here is CCE. Norfolk State University, lo and behold, the green and gold. My in-laws worked there. My mother-in-law was dean of students and father-in-law, director of student activities. We got into all the shows free. And their band. Don't talk about the bands. Don't talk about the bands. You know, the marching bands are now worldwide. It's so funny. YouTube has a whole segment of people from different parts of the world. They'll do Africa. British creators now, they're discovering the marching bands, and they're like, they do their first time reactions to the marching bands. So right now there's a big thing. I feel like it was Florida A&M was one of them. My nieces went to A&T. They have a good marching band. Really, there's not a weak or bad marching band in HBCU universe, but they do this battle of the bands and they tour. So we had tickets. We went to a show and they were doing Total Praise. I know they'll start doing that again because we just lost Dr. Richard Smallwood. I took my sister to see him at Greensboro Symphony last year, and he had to postpone the show. He had been having some health issues. He postponed it. He finally did it. I think we finally, last April or May, and he was still playing the piano, but they kind of walked him out. He was on a cane. Y'all, his little button popped open his shirt. They had to get in front of him and get him together, but he was still able to, direct the choir and do the piano. It was innate to it at that time. You could tell he was toward the end, but Richard Smallwood's choir is nothing to play with, ever. Cece, I love getting these inside information from you. I value you so much. The Spartan Legion is the best. Sharp as attack. I've seen Asian bands straight up stealing our HBCU moves. They were added Asian dancing girls. They even added Asian dancing girls, but we don't have culture. African American culture, and I'm not a part of the diaspora wars. I love Africans. I love Caribbean brothers and sisters, all of that. My ex-husband's from the Caribbean. I love all of that, but I don't allow people to say African Americans, Black Americans, foundational Black, don't have culture. Because if we didn't have it, y'all wouldn't be stealing it. K-pop and all of that. Don't get me started. Y'all know I'm a New Edition stan. K-pop is straight up that. On Traders, the kid Eric Nam, he's a K-Pac phenomenon. They're like, oh, don't talk about, I don't care none about that, okay? Eric Nam and all of them, all of their moves, CC, you got it, it's true. It's true. So if we don't have culture, you don't have to steal it. I loved, Heavenly put on a good event, not even for a friend of. She put on one of the better events this year. So then Dr. Heavenly makes some kind of speech. There is a big lightning bolt. Somebody said that's God. But guess what, Dr. Heavenly? Contention plan B. She was able to bring everything inside. She had it set up. Toya kind of was dragging. This is what Heavenly would do. $2 blow-up house. Toya, stop doing that. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get stuff together. I can't with K-pop. I can't either. I don't like that straight up stealing. Now you're saying they add in Asian dancing girls? Come on, that's crazy. So they bring the party inside. Heavenly wants to dance. Her and Damon are out there dancing. Heavenly, I don't know who this stylist, the new stylist is for Dr. Heavenly, but I can't figure out if they like her or not. I told y'all how she was dressed at that dinner date with her brother, that little knit suit, and now she's doing a lot of stomach out and stuff. I tell y'all at BravoCon, her knees look like two big greased ham hocks. She had the shortest skirt on. It was a mess. So her and Damon are dancing. She's rolling her belly. This little coverall, it's like a black knit coverall. It's not covering anything. Damon and the brother and Zach are hugging again, y'all. I love it. They're hugging again. I can't with K-pop either, CC. Richard Smallwood's funeral services at my church on Saturday, the 24th. I think they're going to broadcast it, Mama B's. Mama B's is over at the DMV as well. Yeah, that's huge. A young man from my church, he was a piano prodigy, and he met Dr. Smallwood years ago. This was like the 80s. And they wanted him to tour with the group, and his parents didn't allow him. They said he was too young. Y'all know the church culture back in the day and now. You couldn't always allow that, but this person's talented to this day. He is a mega church. They have the musical directors. He's one of the musical directors. He has a wife and family. His parents kept him close. He played piano at our church for years and would direct the whole choir, adult and kids. So that I'm going to look to that funeral service. I know the music is going to be amazing. Roland did a big special on him. One thing I love about Roland Martin's network is that he can get a lot of in-depth information about when we lose our people. It's not just the New York Times, Richard Smallwood passed. We get all of the culture and the history that we do have and we do know. They put that out there. It is being live streamed. Yeah, I figured that. They started that with Michael Jackson. Hey, we don't know these people, but they're family. They are family. So I'm for the live stream funeral services. I really am. So next, y'all, I did like that all of the different doctors, spouses, nurse practitioners. I don't remember seeing Brandy and her family. Were they out? I don't know. I didn't take notes on them, but I'm glad to see her, Shamar, and the 4 children, mother-in-law added. I'm glad to see them. Angel had a bunch of people show up. For Quad and King just to show up, I'm with CC and Mama B's and Sharon. Quad is straight storyline. She could get out of here or go friend up. Go do another sister circle, do something else. I'm tired of looking at Quad. I'm tired of it. So just her and King show up to this event. So they all have a good time. They party down. The food is good. Toya and Ashton win the macaroni cheese contest. Steve is a snitch. He talk about that could have been a setup. She carried the box around the whole time, talking about the voting box. So that was really funny. So Toya's trying to get her boys to dance. She won't stop embarrassing these boys. Come on, y'all, dance with me. They're sitting there laughing. They're looking at each other laughing. I just love all of the Married to Medicine kids. So then, y'all, this is the last scene. We get a Quad to-be acting scene with King. And she actually manages to have tears this time. Y'all can rewatch it to get the details. But basically, Dr. Jackie had told us earlier in the episode, I don't know what Quad is going through. I can just imagine. Because when Curtis told her, look, I got my daughter. I ain't have no more kids. Dr. Jackie just gave up. But now she feels everything Toya feels going through this IVF. Not Toya. Everything Quad feels going through the IVF journey. So she's telling us, ideally, you would have 6 embryos, but if we get 1, it only takes 1 egg to be viable. Quad tells us that out of the 6 embryos, only 1 is viable. I'm sorry to hear that. She gives more details, more medical details. Again, you can rewatch to get the details. Y'all, King start talking about the money. He said, yeah, we spent a lot of money. Quad stops him. Don't do that to me. I've been through this so much. Now, she's manufactured a few tears, so I guess that's real. Okay, here we go. Sharon, Roland Martin Unfiltered gives excellent commentary. He does. He actually does. When I go back to my political discourse, I'm going to wear one of my Roland Martin Unfiltered t-shirts. I have the t-shirt and sweatshirt. When he starts hollering, I have to kind of back away from Roland at times, but excellent commentary. Cynthia Christian, welcome in. Thank you so much for a Married to Medicine review. And you know how we do over here at Sandra P's Gen Extra? I had to drop in a few extras. We talked about marching bands, HBCU marching bands. CC let us know they got the Asians trying to do one. And then we veered into Richard Smallwood. And I still want Quad out of here. Okay, Dr. Jackie was upset about Quad. You're right. She had no sympathy for Buffy or Sweet Tea. Yes, you see, I guess she's looking at Quad as a little sis now, or it could be story a storyline to humanize her too. But at BravoCon she did bring up Quad. When I see her going through, I feel, and then they had to like hug. But I mean, it sounded kind of real, CC. It did. It sounded real, cause old Long told Curtis he put the brakes on what Dr. Jackie wanted. She wanted a deluxe apartment in the sky. He didn't want her to do that. And now he got her close to them businesses. Talking about, don't bring your business. Tell Eugene, don't bring your business over here. Dr. Jackie got her territory over here. Said he gonna burn it down. Yes, he did. Sharon, Sharon did not back off Quad at all. I go back and forth. Y'all know I'm a softie. I don't care for Quad, but I am a softie. She said, Sandra, I still don't believe Quad. Everyone saying good morning to Cynthia Christian. Thank you so much for coming in. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you. Low Tempo Life, good morning. This is my friend. Hello, good to see you. Good to see you. And we're doing the Married to Medicine. Again, we have drifted off into a few extras, but we are doing Married to Medicine live review. Talking about Quad. Quad's crying. She's doing it. Oh, don't do this to me. And then she said, oh, because King mentioned the money, which he always does. I've given up so much. My jobs, the Vin scamming, allegedly. Now, Apollo, y'all, he went down for what Phaedra called a white collar crime. He's the one that did all the time, even though I don't think he was the brains behind that operation. He and his brother went away, and Phaedra's still sitting pretty doing her little reality shows. But people were saying, not me, because I don't know, but they were saying this is what King might have been into. I don't know. Quad saying, yeah, we driving a bunch of cars, and they all cost money. Maybach, Bentley, Rolls Royce. So Quad done told the feds everything to go get. But King saying that he's giving up his business. We hear you, King, but we don't believe it. He's giving up his business. He was satisfied with not having more children, but Quad doesn't have any, and she just wants her first. She's like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't trade places with what I've been through. And he's like, he might be out. She said, I want you to continue the process, meaning she wants this man's DNA. And it's beautiful DNA. King is fine. If you like that type. Yeah, he's tall, dark, and handsome. Okay, he's fine. She said, you don't have to spend any more money. Quad, don't do this on TV. Y'all, I was embarrassed for Quad. What y'all think about Quad doing that? So he moves the goalposts. He just said money, right? He just mentioned money. He said, it's not about that. It's about, what about your mental? This takes a lot out of you. This, Quad, stop doing it. Cynthia Christian, Quad should have never came back stealing Sweet Tea's storyline. Cynthia Christian, you weren't even in here when CC believes it's a storyline. Sharon believes it's a storyline. I'm on the fence because I'm trying to be extra sweet. Oh my goodness. Quad, the people are not believing you. Quad always wants to know what the people say. They say they don't believe you. Quad is a liar, in my opinion. Cynthia said that before I even read it. Mama B's welcome in Low Tempo Life. Low Tempo Life have a Low Tempo Life as well. She be chilling. It's good to see you. So now he's saying that it's not just the money, it's Quad's mental. And she's saying that she'll cover everything. I never thought I'd see Quad down bad like this. Quad, I miss the city girl, Quad. I don't want you begging this man for his DNA. Don't do it. Go to the sperm bank. Y'all made fun of Kenya Moore. Kenya was at the sperm bank. Then she ended up with old Mark. And I bet she wished she had stayed over there. So I will say this about Quad. She mocked Sweet Tea. She said, ain't nothing going on over there. Look like ain't nothing going on over here. 15 times a week, blanks. Come on now. So this is crazy. I can't say that I'm sorry for her, even though I don't like to see a woman going through this on TV. I don't know, y'all. That is the end of the episode. Let me see what Sharon said about King. King doesn't want another child. He doesn't. He mentioned his daughter. I got my daughter. This is taken away from my daughter. Now, what I need to know from King's daughter mother, is King in the daughter life, financially and physically? What is he talking about? Mama Bees is saying what she thinks. King doesn't want no baby, period. I don't think so either. I feel like the daughter maybe is in the teens, a preteen or teen. We haven't seen her, but he don't want a baby. Quad had poor Mason over there for a storyline. Her actual nephew And then she shows up too deep. Can you even say deep when it's two people? Her and King to the family reunion. Angel brought more people than that. Y'all see all them people Angel rolled up with? Cynthia Christian is speaking back to everyone. So y'all, that was the end of the episode. Quad, you looking like Miss Celie over here. This is terrible. No, that was Sophia. Don't trade places what I've been through. That's Sophia. Quad was doing her good to be acting. So then the next preview, it looks like Angel's going to have an event. Finally, Angel, come on. Y'all know I got Sandra P's cloak of immunity over the first season nurse practitioners because they need it. Brandy was fighting for her life, but I think she's going to make it. So Angel's going to have an event. Quad and Simone going to get into it at the event. So Quad is overly emotional, and Simone is yelling, I'll drag. Really, it's both their men that's dragging them, and if they get rid of the men, then they would actually have a friendship. But she's screaming and yelling, I'll drag your man. Simone, don't do that. What did King do to you? Well, I'm dragging King, and he didn't do nothing to me. I'm not really dragging him. That's the chat. King, that's the chat. Uh-oh, here comes somebody else talking about it. Cynthia Christensen said, I don't believe King wants Quad. You don't believe King wants Quad? I saw chemistry last year, Cynthia. I don't see it this year. I think he's over it. I think he liked traveling Quad, at the parties Quad, city girl Quad. I don't think he likes overly emotional, crying, thicker than a snicker, filled out from all these injections Quad. And then traveling to Ghana, 15 hours a week, once a month, and then you paying? No, I'm with you. Cece agrees. Y'all, this, and what Cece's agreeing with, Mama B's that said King don't want no baby, period. Yeah, most men, most women, nobody wants to start over. You get them to their teens, you don't want a new baby. Everybody's agreeing. Cece saying, dang. Excuse me, y'all. I gotta add honey to this mix. I give this episode a 7. Sharon, yeah, I was gonna give it an 8 because I really loved Heavenly's event. So y'all, Marriage Medicine, I put y'all at a 75. So we'll see what Angel can do with her event. Simone and Carter yelling, threatening to drag each other, and the men. And Angel's calling for security. But from the stage, y'all, Angel said, if you can't act right, get up out of here. Tell them, Angel, because they ruin everybody's event. It make me sick. Y'all, thank you so much for joining Sandra P's Gen Extra. Excuse my voice. Thank you for bearing with me. I appreciate all of you, all the new subscribers. Thank you. If somebody's sick from school and they just, girl, get out of here. Thank you so much for joining me. See you in the YouTube streets. And again, Sharon gave the episode a 7. I gave it an 8. So we give it like a mid C. Let them do some extra credit. See ya. Thank you all. Have a great day, everybody. Cece says, have a blessed day, everyone. Bye. Wish both us well. I think she got me sick.
Hey, you started coughing.